Have you ever just stopped and wondered about the invisible forces that are kind of pulling our strings? The secret currents that guide our decisions, our attractions, and yeah, even our biggest mistakes? Well, get ready, because we are about to decode them. And this question right here, this is the heart of it all. The idea is that we're all operating on these deep psychological programs, instincts and reactions we're often completely unaware of. So today, we're going to pull back that curtain and take a look at the hidden code. So let's start with the most fundamental scripts of all, the ones running inside our own brains. And you might be surprised to find out just how counterintuitive some of these programs really are. Okay, get this. When you experience rejection, getting ghosted, left out, whatever, your brain doesn't see it as just emotional. Nope. It processes it as a physical injury. That ache you feel in your chest, it's a real pain signal. It's actually a leftover survival script from a time when getting kicked out of the tribe literally meant death. Do you think your past is like a perfect video you can just rewind and watch? Think again. Every single time you remember something, your brain isn't just hitting play, it's actively editing the story. Details shift, emotions get turned up or down. Your past isn't a recording. It's more like a living document that changes every time you open it. Let's just be super clear about this one. Multitasking is a total myth. Your brain isn't actually juggling tasks at the same time. What it's really doing is switching between them incredibly fast. And every single time it switches, your IQ takes a temporary nosedive, kind of like what happens when you pull an all-nighter. You're not getting more done, you're just burning through your mental gas tank at an insane rate. Okay, so we've seen how these hidden scripts work inside our heads. Now let's talk about how they show up on the outside. Those internal programs directly influence the words that come out of our mouths. And believe me, some really common phrases can absolutely sabotage our credibility without us even realizing it. Yeah, we've all heard it. And let's be honest, we've probably all said it. It's like this knee-jerk defensive reaction when something goes sideways. But what is it really saying? Well, this defensive reflex has a name: blame shifting. It's a script that basically screams, "I'm not ready to take ownership." But here's the wild part. The most intelligent, most respected people, they don't run from their mistakes. They run towards them. Why? Because that's where all the good stuff is. The learning, the growth. Just look at the power of rewriting that one little script. On one side, you've got defensiveness, you're stuck. On the other, you've got maturity, self-awareness, and a problem-solving mindset. You're literally turning a moment of failure into a powerful display of character. And here's another classic. A phrase people use to kind of soften the blow before they share an idea. We think it makes us seem humble, right? But in reality, it does the exact opposite. This is a textbook case of self-sabotage. You're essentially putting a warning label on your own intelligence. You're telling everybody in the room, hey, lower your expectations before your idea even gets a fair shot. Even if it's brilliant, you've already framed it as dumb. Now look at the power shift this alternative creates. It's confident, but it's also collaborative. You're inviting feedback without apologizing for having an idea in the first place. It shows you trust your own voice while also respecting everyone else's. It's a simple switch, but it goes from "I might be wrong" to "let's find the right answer together." All right, so we've decoded the scripts in our words, but what about the language we don't speak? I mean, the most powerful connections are often revealed in signals that are totally subconscious. So how can you tell when two people are really, truly in sync? Well, the clues are silent.
So here are 3 of the biggest subconscious signs. First, there's mirroring. When someone unconsciously copies your posture or your gestures, it's a huge sign of alignment. Second, remembering the tiny details. The small personal facts you mentioned offhand. It shows that you're taking up significant space in their mind. And finally, comfortable silence. That's a big one. When you no longer feel that awkward need to fill the void, it's a sign that the connection itself is enough.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? Mirroring isn't a conscious choice. It is the body's silent confession. It's this deep instinctual script that's whispering, "I feel connected to you." So if you catch someone subtly matching your energy or your posture, their brain is basically confessing a connection that words might not be ready for yet. Okay, now for the most complex script of all, this deeply counterintuitive dynamic that actually fuels long-term attraction. Seriously, this is where things get really, really interesting. So this concept, it's called psychological polarity, and it's rooted in the work of the famous psychologist Carl Jung. The big idea is that attraction isn't built on sameness, it's actually fueled by tension. That magnetic pull between two opposite poles, think certainty and mystery, or closeness and independence, that's the very thing we call chemistry. And this is the great paradox of desire. The very things we often think we want in a relationship, total security, predictability, routine, can accidentally kill the flame. Desire needs oxygen. It thrives on a little bit of tension, a hint of mystery, and that crucial feeling that both people are still whole, independent individuals, not just collapsed into one single, predictable unit.
So, after decoding all these hidden programs, what's the takeaway here? How do you actually use this knowledge? And let's be really clear about this. The goal here is not to play a game. Understanding these codes isn't about learning some cheap tricks to manipulate people. That's a shallow path, and honestly, it's one that's doomed to fail. The real power is self-awareness. It's about understanding the invisible scripts running in your own mind and in others so you can finally choose whether or not you want to follow them. This is the ultimate freedom, the freedom to stop being just a character in a story written by instinct and to start becoming the author. So I'll just leave you with this last thought. Understanding these hidden codes, that's the first step. It moves you from being a passenger, just run by unconscious scripts, to being the pilot of your own life. You finally get to pick up the pen. You get to be your own author. The only question left is, what story are you going to write?